Okay, in this lesson we're going to take a look at how to create new feature definitions for conduits. So first I'm going to open my conduit library. So now my conduit library is open. I'm going to open the Project Explorer where all our feature definitions are managed. And what I want to add is some new gas lines. And so I have gas line feature definitions for ductile iron and HDPE. I want to add a new conduit for gas line welded steel. Now once the new feature definition is created, then I'll look at the properties. The utility type allows us to define some intelligence for each feature definition. So this is going to be a gas line. The prefix can be anything that you like it to be. We can assign a template so that when we ask for a trench, when we're creating the models, then we get a trench modeled along with it, and so I'll use this OSHA with 8-foot max depth. It can be any trench, any template that you want, and that's a standard Open Roads template library. So what is the function? And so the function, network type, and conduit type are just further ways of identifying the type of gas line that this will be. And so this is a main line. You notice on all these that you have a user defined choice. We'll say that this one is medium pressure, let's say. And the conduit type. Now this will be circular welded steel. You'll notice we have many other shapes for other types of conduits. And the shape and orientation, so along this circle, when we say that the profile is such and such for this gas line, does that profile define the invert, the soffit, or the center? In this case, for a gas line, we'll say that it's the soffit. And then we can define the different sizes that are available for these gas lines. And I'm just going to put in a couple, and I must admit that I'm largely ignorant to the gas line industry, but let's say that let's just do a 6-inch. This description is merely a label. It can be anything. Usually it's a size. The for design function really doesn't apply here, but if it was a hydraulic network, true or false, when we compute the hydraulics, then would this size be available for design, or is it only an existing condition? So the inside diameter, this is a imperial units DGN lib file, so 1/2 foot. The thickness, and again, I must plead ignorance here, and so I'll say 0.1 just for a number. Now this is a welded steel pipe, and I'm going to assume, and I am assuming, that there is minimal, if any, bend allowed when you're building these things. And so I'm going to say the bend radius is probably 0, and that if you have bends that you would use fittings. And the same for the joints, since it's welded steel. So basically this between nodes, this gas line must follow a straight line. Now if it were a flexible pipe, then we could put in here, for example, a PVC pipe. It can bend just a little bit. An HDPE pipe can bend quite a lot depending on the size, and so we could put a bend radius in there. Or if it was something like a reinforced concrete pipe, then we could put in an amount that it can deflect at each joint, and so at each joint it can deflect a certain amount, and then that combined with the unit length would allow us to build on a curve. These next several properties are really only applicable to hydraulics. So minimum maximum slope for design checks, and minimum maximum velocity, and those are not used in the current release. In the minimum cover, we'll say for this is 4 feet. Now I can then add as many sizes as I need, so let's just say a 12-inch and then everything else the same. And so you see that I can build many different sizes, and so the sizes for this may be from a 1/2 inch up to 12 or 14 inches, depending upon what your needs are. So those are our sizes, and that defines all the business intelligence for this information here. That's all the business or engineering intelligence that goes with it. And now we need to define what is the symbology, and so that's where our templates come in. So plan, profile, and 3D, how does it look? And those are linked to element templates. So I have some already set up here, and so I could use these same ones. And so if I want all my gas lines to look the same, for example, if they all look the same in plan, then I can use this same one. Or if they all look the same in profile, again, I can use the same one. And I could use the same 3D, but in this case I'd like to put a steel material assigned to it. And so let me create a new template. And so I'll say gas welded steel 3D. And actually I could do this a little easier. Let me copy this one. It's a lot easier to copy something than it is to create it from scratch. So I get all my level structure already in place, and then I'm just going to add a material. And so for my materials, let me look at metals, and let's see what I've got. I should have a steel down in here somewhere. Carbon steel, we'll say. So now I've got my element templates all created, and I just need to fill in this last entry. So that's all that's involved in creating a conduit feature definition. Now I'm in my DGN library, so I do need to restart Geopack. I'm running Geopack here. It runs the same in the other products as well, Inroads or MX. So I'm going to restart my civil product, in this case Geopack, just to force it to read that DGN library again. And let me just jump into a file here. And we'll make use of that new feature definition. Now over here in my 3D, let me go ahead and change this to smooth shading, and I'm going to add some water lines here. I mean some gas lines of this that we just created. So here's our new welded steel gas line. I'll use 6 inch in this case. Actually, that's a 2 and a 12, so let's use our 12 inch. So here's our gas line. Remember, we put the carbon steel material on it, and so we do get visualization in the 3D.